In the beginning was the Word, but we're not going that far back. No, we're going all the way back to 2007, where a former Gadzooks manager and a youth pastor decided to do something different. He wanted to start a church and a movie theater. So fast forward 14 years, and a mulleted worship pastor, Justin Hagler, turned the vision God gave him for a different kind of church into the simple church. Thousands of lives changed, millions of dollars given away. God has done something in Shreveport Bossier that no church has done before. And that's right. Join us on the Backstage with the Simple Church podcast summer as we look at the humble beginnings of the simple church. Talk to the people who were there and had no idea what was ahead. The mullet may be gone, but the spirit of the mullet will live on in all of us every day. Hey, everybody.
Hey, thanks for listening.
Sound like David Lee Roth. I ain't got nobody.
Well, that's a way to start, Scott.
I know. Well, we've been gone for a little bit.
The listener did not know that.
The listener did
Through
not
the
know
magic of podcasting. We had pre-recorded some episodes. We're back live now.
Yes.
And we've got a great one today.
Yes, we do.
Lisa McDaniel is our guest. That's right. She's been around Simple Church since the very beginning.
A long time, her and her husband.
One of the launch team members of the Simple Church. She's been very involved, helping do a lot of different things, and it's a great conversation.
Yeah, and has been running the Do Good store for quite a long time with Angie and Candy and Ann, and I'm sure I'm leaving somebody out.
That's right, but she's going to talk about it here in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks for listening. Thanks for downloading this episode of Backstage with the Simple Church. We would love for you to subscribe so you get it every week automatically, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening in the audio feed, wherever you listen to your podcast. And leave us a 5-star review. It helps people to find it. It bumps it up when you're searching, makes it easier. It does help.
It helps us help you.
That's right.
As I look directly into the camera.
Deep stare. Now let's go to our conversation with Lisa McDaniel.
Listen. Look into my eyes.
It has gotten worse and worse.
Well, because I was in my mind, it was going to be better. Sorry about that. But I was making eye contact with you, and then I couldn't do it.
People know that if they're watching the YouTube video.
Yes,
You can see
yes.
Scott. You kind of ducked in and out.
I did. By the way, it feels good to be back.
It is. People don't know we've been missing.
Yes, we have been missing.
But pre-recorded the last couple episodes.
Yes.
You didn't know that out in listener land.
No.
But now we are live in the room with Lisa McDaniel.
Yay.
And she is so excited to be here, Scott.
She seems like it.
This is one of the things I really like about Lisa is that she's not one that's going to be in the spotlight. She's not going to be the one that gets the credit. But she has a great story to share and has been a big part of Simple Church for a long time. Her and her husband, Donnie, were part of the initial launch team. You did student ministry with Justin back in the day.
They're still on the DLT, isn't Donnie?
Directional leadership team, that's right. And we want to hear from you, Lisa. So thanks for being here.
Sure. Glad to do it.
No, you're not, but we made you anyway.
First of all, shout out to Susan.
Yes.
Carl's
your number one
wife.
fan.
She just called on the phone.
Yes. Who is also one of Lisa's very best friends.
Yes, she is.
Yeah. So just wanted to give you a little shout out, Susan.
That's right.
Right
Thanks for
into the
listening.
beginning.
Download.
Thank you for listening.
But Lisa, tell us about you. Tell us about your family, how many kids you have, what does you and Donnie do, and just a little intro about the McDaniel family.
Well, we have 3 kids, and they are all married. Thank you, Jesus.
Ow.
Yes, we do. And this is so weird hearing myself.
It is. You sound great.
Anyway, Donnie has he's in construction, and I'm kind of his number one hey girl. I help him with that.
Is that the official term, a hey girl?
Yes. It's
Like-
usually hey guy, hey boy. You know, hey girl, come get this. Hey girl, come hold this.
I was thinking
hey
like-
girl, come help
I was
this.
thinking
Horses hay.
Yeah, like, hey.
No. Just his
Go.
left hand man,
Woman.
girl, whatever. Yeah. So we do that, and then I help at the Do Good store. That's
You do a little more than just
Come.
help.
well, whatever needs to be done down there. You know, we take care of it, and we have a great little group team and stuff that we work with down there. Angie and Candy and Ann, and they are a mega blessing to me. That has been a God thing through it all. That those ladies have become such a integral part of my life, and we've been able to go through great times and, sad times together, and been there for each other through thick and thin. And so that, and Simple Church kind of brought all that together for me for that. So
That's
been
awesome.
a great thing.
Yeah, I definitely want to get the Do Good story, but let's go further back. How did you guys get to know Justin? How did you get connected with him? And you guys were part of the original launch team, right?
Right, we were. And, we'd known Justin. He'd been in youth leader at First Bossier, and that's where we were attending. And thinking back on it, I can remember one time he preached one Sunday, and then they had some group that came. I don't know if they were on bicycles jumping. It was for the youth.
Oh, it was dirt bikes. I remember that. Yeah,
and they did all that. But he preached. It was a fantastic sermon. Wish I could remember exactly what it was on, but it was so good, and he was just so, charismatic. He's just a great
we were
communicator.
He spoke in big church.
Yes, he spoke in big church,
That was a
and
big
so that was a big deal. And after it was over, he asked Donnie if he would help tear down some things, and I can remember him driving up in the driveway to drop Donnie off after that. And I just told him, I said, dude, you were excellent today. I said, you could be my pastor anytime. I said, I could sit in and listen to you from now on. And it wasn't long after that he asked us to come in and he had his idea of the Simple Church and what he wanted, his vision for what he wanted church to be. And we just said, we are in. We're excited about that because, and of nobody's fault but our own, we had gotten in the routine of just sitting and soaking. Just sitting there and just sitting there and being blessed.
In the hot tub of the Lord.
Because I'll go back to the dirt bikes. That was 06. I remember it because I was a middle school leader, and Will Guyton, who's the middle school pastor, said, hey, we need a volunteer. I was like, sure. So I laid down, and they had dirt bikes jump over me.
That's
in
crazy.
the parking lot at First Bossier.
I must not have been.
It was 6,
there.
so it's probably a little bit
yeah.
before you.
No,
or
it's
after you. I'm sorry, that's what
after me.
After you'd left. But then the Simple Church launched 07, and you had young kids at that point, right?
Yeah, they were high school, middle school.
Okay, yeah.
And
Not that young.
Not that young.
yeah, but they were enough that they could help.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially
And be involved. So that's the thing that I love so much about the Simple Church is that you put feet to it. We have been able to do more things instead of sitting there and just, letting somebody else do it, pay for somebody else to do it or whatever.
Being in the hot tub.
Do good.
Yeah, do
time to
good.
get out.
That's right.
That's right. I think you were going to sing there for a minute, Scott. Did you want to?
Give us your hand. Give us your feet. Is that who sang that?
I think that's Audio Adrenaline, and that's I Want to Be Your Hands. I want to
Be your hands.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I didn't listen to Christian music. Still don't. So
Wow.
There you go.
nothing against it, by the way, if you like it. It's just not my cup of tea.
Not your jam.
Yeah, not that I'm listening to Satanist music either.
Well, let's hope not, Scott.
Thank you.
Really, I don't
clarifying.
listen to much music. I'm going to be honest with you.
There you go.
Yeah.
Podcast. So you get involved, and then talk about Donnie being on the directional leadership team. How did that happen? Did you kind of?
Well, Justin was just looking for, I guess, a few good men.
Hey.
And I consider him a good man for sure. And
Who, Justin or Donnie?
Donnie, not Justin, Donnie. No, but it was just they just understood his vision, and he's an idea man. Justin is. God has blessed him tremendously and just given him,
Vision.
yeah, and creative ways to get his point across and God's point across, So, and it's fun to be a part of that. It's very frustrating at times to be a part of that. And I know I don't have to tell you that, but because sometimes those ideas come like 5 minutes before.
Quick.
Yes. But anyway, we roll with it. But, going back to the beginning, we just, we met at our home, like we were talking about earlier, and with whiteboards and started making a plan.
So that was a couple years into the church. We were growing, trying to figure out what to do.
Right.
And Justin called a big meeting of everybody that was kind of on staff and in the leadership, and we were going to split into 3 campuses.
Right.
And so how we're going to do that and logistics of that. And I remember you opened up your home. We probably crammed
I don't
50,
know.
60 people in there.
More than should have been there.
Right. And they were every spot sticking out, and we all sat around and tried to talk about what it's going to look like. And you guys have hosted over the years a lot of different things in your house. And
Well, and it's it's just fun. And I think one of the things that always is amazing to me, and it still amazes me, is whenever we take a risk, God blesses it. It's like, you've got to trust me on this. You know, you step out. If you'll just, you know, take this risk. And he really has just blessed us beyond anything. I think Justin, he didn't think, you know, 50 people would show up the first time.
You have a claim to fame. Justin talked about you for Partner Party in years. I don't know if you know this or not, but he always says that nobody believed that Simple Church was going to be as big as it was, except you.
I did.
You were the one of the few people that said
it's gonna work. It was exciting, you know, and it still is. And one of the things that I still am amazed. I've served in started out in hospitality. We had I'm like 8 or 10 ice chests. And the night before, we'd go like to Super One or wherever we could get the cheapest Cokes.
Every Saturday night.
And and we would ice them down and then bring them down to the convention center. We had ice chests, and then it just got so big, and then we were able to use the cooler. So I started in hospitality. I've served in the nursery and did that, and then I've done set up and tear down. And the thing that is always amazing to me is that there are no complaints. When people are setting up and doing all this manual labor
For
and
free.
working,
Just giving their
for free,
time.
they're volunteering. There's just smiles on people's faces, and they just are happy to be doing something, happy to be a part. You know, just to be really a part of what God's doing in our church, and I think
Because we're
it's just
doing
great.
it for the Lord.
We
Lisa.
are,
But there are some churches where they say they're doing it for the Lord, Scott. They might not have as good a time.
yeah. And I'm not saying that it's not hard and that
Sure.
there hasn't been difficulties, and you know, every week is a challenge. You know, there's something. Well, and this was one of the things that I was thinking about. In the beginning, we had one trailer.
Yeah.
One trailer, and Donnie McDaniel was responsible for getting the trailer. He'd go and pick it up.
Every Sunday morning, what time would he get there?
I don't know, it was like 6, something like that. It was early. He had to get there. And I had one job, and my job was to make sure he got up. And I did not do that one Sunday. And so about 6:15 or whenever he was supposed to be there, we get a call, and Chip called, Donnie? And we were just like in panic. Like we had overslept, and
It was a tight window, right? Church would start at
Very
9.
tight,
You had to have it all
very
set up. It took
tight.
it right until
Right.
8:45 most Sundays.
yeah. And so, because you had to be out before the movie got
Noon sharp.
Yeah.
People started walking in for movies.
right. They did. So,
But yeah, he was our only trailer puller for a while.
for a long
And in
time.
fact, on Wednesdays, or was it Thursdays? I can't remember. He would actually bring the trailer to First Bossier, back it up to the gym at some point, and then I, by myself, would show up and unload that trailer and set everything up for band practice in the gym.
I had forgotten about that, but yes.
Yeah, so then he would drop it off, and then we would load it with the band, and everybody would load it up that night. Then he, at some point, would come get it.
Crazy.
Yep.
It is. We've come a long way, baby.
We have.
Yeah, that was Wednesday nights. Yeah, because I would, it was either right before or right after I got off work at the hospital. I would go and unload that trailer and set everything up.
Dang.
Yep.
It's a lot to unload by yourself.
Yep, it was.
Now we have great volunteers that
We
do
do.
that.
Well, I say it was a lot. I mean, at that time it was a lot, but compared to what we have now, it was nothing.
Sure, it just kept growing.
Yeah. It was just a few speakers. It wasn't like anything major.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then you have a soft spot in my heart because when I was a student pastor, you guys were life group hosts. You would have teenagers in your house, and you were always very open and welcoming. And there are not a lot of people that want a bunch of teenagers in their house. So I always appreciate that,
Anything
Lisa.
for you, Evan.
Oh, that means a lot. But your kids were great and real involved.
Such a lot.
It is not
kidding.
a lot.
But probably my favorite JP memory, your son, is when he was Buddy the Elf.
Oh, yeah.
Some people might remember that for Christmas. We did the elf upstairs.
My kids love to dress up. They still love to, costume,
costume.
Halloween, whatever. They'll do it. They have no shame
They're fun.
whatsoever. But yeah, they're a lot of fun.
Especially JP.
Especially JP.
JP has no shame.
He doesn't. But yeah, he was spot on for Buddy the Elf for sure.
Oh, yeah.
nailed
Well, first of all, he's what, 6 foot?
He's every bit like Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
He's 6'6", and
Yeah.
so
Had the big hair at the time.
yes,
Big hair,
he had
big
curly
smile.
hair. He did the whole elevator routine.
Yeah.
Yes, on the escalator.
Yes, escalator. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he was great. He was perfect. Him and then Calvin Freeman as the manager were the best cosplay elf costumes we had done.
Yeah.
They nailed it. He had the red sweater vest. I don't know if you remember that.
Awesome.
He looked great.
I don't remember that.
That's okay.
Yeah.
You're not a
I
big
do
Christmas guy.
We're not going to have this
All right,
discussion.
that's fine.
No, I do remember him as Buddy the Elf. I just don't remember Calvin and that thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Calvin was great. But yeah, so your kids now, they've moved on, they're older, you're empty nesting. But one of the things that you got real involved with in the Simple Church was the start of the Do Good store. So kind of talk about, you guys had a store, Fairway
We
Gift
did.
Garden.
We were in retail for 15 plus years and loved it. It was very good to us, but just had an opportunity to sell that and what I thought was retire. But
In quotes.
yes, but not soon after that, Justin came to us and said, "I've got an idea," and the idea was for the Do Good store, and he said that there is nothing in the Bible about retirement.
That was his line to you.
And
Of
I
course.
said, I can't argue with that. I'm not a Bible scholar, but I've never seen it. I think you're supposed to work till Jesus comes. Isn't that what the song says? But with what little experience I had and a lot of great volunteers, and Bobby Stevenson was involved in that, we kind of figured out kind of what that would be. And our premises is, it all kind of started when, do you remember when he did the love God, love people, love the saints, love God, love people, love the Cowboys?
Right.
He did like a
T-shirt.
T-shirts, and whoever sold the most, which shirt sold the most, like if it was the Cowboys, it'd go to Mission Arlington, I think, and it was a Katrina for New Orleans, and I think Katrina won.
I think the Who did that one. Mhm.
Yeah.
So the idea was, well, if we can create or find something that we can sell that does good, why not have a whole store that carries products like that? And so we strive to find products that already give back. If they're like, I'm trying to think of some, like we carry Bridgewater candles. With every candle that you buy, they feed a child that is, hunger deprived or whatever. They have a mission for that. They do a lot with the rice bowls and all. So anyway, we look for products that already give back. So when we purchase them and then we sell them, they do double good.
Double good. I always like that term.
Yeah, double good. So we've done good when we purchase those from that manufacturer, and then we take the profits once we pay our overhead and the profits that we have left, and then we can put those toward do good projects like water wells and just helping people here locally. But we also, help the Land of 1,000 Hills. We carry their coffee, Africa, and just a lot of other projects that we've been able to help with. So
And Land of 1,000 Hills, that was one of the initial ones, and Donnie got to
was.
go on that first trip, right?
he did. He went on the finding trip. They wanted to make sure if they were going to, support it. And I love that about Simple Church. They want to, vet projects to make sure that the people that they're helping, they're really getting what we're
Right.
sending. So he got to go on the first trip, and it's life-changing. And then a few years later, we got to go back and got to actually meet our children that we sponsor.
Yeah.
So that was, and I hope I get to go back again because I would love to. We sponsor 2 boys, and it was just incredible getting to meet them, and just to see the beautiful country, but then to see the people that are just changing that world over there, so much so that the president, of Rwanda looks to them for how they're
Helping
making
orphans,
that difference.
right? Yeah. They really are one of the biggest providers of helping kids that don't have
Right.
parents in the country of Rwanda.
Right.
And so Land of 1,000 Hills,
Right.
that they're known as, is the coffee. It's literally one of the best places in the world to grow coffee.
Right.
And so they
But
were
they didn't
trying.
know that at the time, though.
Who didn't know that?
The people of Rwanda didn't know that at the time. I think.
I know that the elevation helps, and I'm not sure the history of all that and where it happened, and
Yeah.
we can fact
Sorry.
check that later. That's okay. But basically, they had a great product, and they were just trying to get it out there. And so I know, like, Catalyst Conference had done it and was using their coffee.
Right.
And they were promoting, and their phrase was, drink coffee, do good.
Right.
And that was one of the things that, and I think, inspired that initial.
Right. Well, we talked about several names for the store, and but it just kept coming back to that because that's what we were wanting to do.
Yeah.
Do good.
And that phrase actually in Scripture a lot, too.
It
We were
is.
surprised when we started looking.
So many places.
That
so,
when you go and
so if it's important to Jesus, it needs to be important to us too.
I like the sound of that. And then Africa New Life is an organization we partner
Right.
kids with, and let's put a link in the bio. We'll make sure we go through, and if you want to sponsor a child, we directly go to that. We go and try to figure that out, and if you want to
Absolutely.
sponsor a child, I think it's $39 a month now.
Yeah,
we
I mean,
sponsor a
it's
child.
just nothing. It just
Spend that one meal eating out.
Yeah, we really are hoping that one of our boys is very studious. He's good, so we're
Studious.
hoping that we can continue on with him with college and
Wow.
and everything.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about one of your children, but you're talking about one of your
yeah,
sponsors' kids.
yeah,
One of
Sorry. Well, I know that. I'm sorry. I was like,
yeah.
sorry. Anyway.
But it's just and they have such a great program over there. They've done so
they're incredible.
many great things.
And then we got to go meet our sponsor child as well. And Scott, that's one of the few trips you haven't been on, right? You haven't been to Rwanda?
I have never been to Africa.
There you go.
Yep.
Get
I
you
never
on that trip.
experienced the rains down there.
Sing the song. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Africa New Life is incredible. And that was really, I think, that time we're starting to think about how are you going to continue to do that? We've always partnered with Amigo Fiel and Juarez, and we want to support those organizations. But if you could sell a product
Right.
that helps do
Well, not everybody can go on a mission trip,
Right.
But everybody can do something. And if they, it can be as simple as buying a T-shirt, and know that you're helping.
that. Yeah.
So
And so the Do Good store that started, was that 2012, 13?
you can tell me anything.
I think so. And I remember
Terrible with
we
dates.
built the mock up of the store.
Yes.
Yeah,
on the stage.
Yeah.
I helped build that.
Yeah, it was so much fun. I love things like that. It was stressful, but it was just really fun putting all that together and just to get the excitement for it. And so we started with all volunteers and had some fantastic volunteers that would give up their time. We're only open on the weekends. We just have never gotten to the point to where we can be open full time, but we've gotten to the point to where we can now pay people. We have
Yeah.
some really good workers down there, and
Because I think it's 2012, because I think next year is the 10-year anniversary.
yeah, I think it is.
So I think that it's been 9 years, and the boardwalk was cool. So
It
we had a
was.
relationship with the boardwalk.
They've
which
been very good to us.
Yeah, which we've moved
3 times.
Wherever they tell us.
Yeah.
Because they came and got excited about the idea
Right,
when we told it
right.
to them, and that they were actually
Yes.
going to help us to get a
Right.
rate
Yeah, they
there.
actually helped us out
The
a
retail
lot. And
space.
still continue.
Yeah.
They do, and
Big
but,
supporters.
We are still there, and we try to do all we can and keep current and all. COVID, was hard on everyone.
Sure.
And but as long as water heaters don't bust and things like that.
I had fun.
Talk about
was
that,
like
Scott. What
swimming.
happened?
Well, we had an issue.
This
First
was
of
recent.
all, I've never seen anything like this before in my life. But so the water heater busted above the bathroom in the Do Good store.
Where it's currently located
Yes,
now.
where
This
it's
was
currently
2
located.
months ago.
Yeah, it's like 2 months ago. So I basically John said he had to go to the Do Good store to take care of a problem. I was busy, so then I was like, I called him and said, hey, is there any way I can help before I leave for the day? And he said, bring every broom and squeegee we've got. And I went, okay. I still had no idea what was going on. And so, sure enough, I get down there, and it's probably, by the time I got there, it was about ankle deep of water. And so I just had a little squeegee, so I'm squeegeing it out. But the main thing I remember is so I guess the ceiling is painted in the bathroom, and all of a sudden I look, and there's this bubble that's growing, and it's just slowly coming down. And so, it's probably like a 10-foot ceiling, and this bubble is coming down to my eye level. I've never seen anything like that, but all the water is just in the paint, and it's just bringing it down. And I just walked away.
But it's cleaned up now. The
It's clean.
store is
Well,
open.
Donnie walked in and goes, "Don't touch it." I said, "I'm not going to do anything."
Don't touch it.
Yeah. So yeah,
We were very fortunate. I mean, that
Yeah.
it didn't damage a lot of the merchandise.
No, I didn't get any real merchandise.
Not much at all.
Yeah.
some things that were lower in the back, but
Right.
really
Yeah.
not much at all.
Yeah,
But
we had to carry everything out by hand, and then we had the maintenance guy came by one of those little squeegee things, and he was going out every 5 minutes. He'd do it, it'd fill up, and he'd have to go out back and dump it, and fill it up and dump it.
yeah,
Dang.
Yeah.
Crazy.
just part of life.
Part of
Like
owning a
that.
retail store,
Yeah.
huh?
That's
I
right.
bet you
Things
had some
happen.
fairway stories.
Sure.
We were talking
Which-
about a
what-
tornado.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, speaking of the tornado in the fairway, because one of the things is all the trailers that Simple Church had
Yes.
was parked behind Fairway Hardware
Yeah.
for years.
Early on.
Yeah, and in fact, funny story, I actually got caught in your razor wire. I have a scar on my hand to this day from your
Were you
razor.
breaking in?
No.
How did you do that?
I'm going to tell you how I did that, Lisa. For some reason, I can't remember. Y'all were out of town, and the band needed into one of the trailers because Chad Alexander needed to change the drum heads on the drums, and we could not, for whatever reason, I have no idea why, could not move that trailer at that time. So we actually set up a tent.
Oh, I do remember something
Like
about that. Outside.
Outside.
It was hot.
Yes. And he sat in that parking lot. But when I lowered that gate, or when I raised it up, I was too close to that, and I went to raise it, and I went to close it. My hand went like that.
Oh.
And the door closed. And I was like, I can't move my hand. And razor wire, it had gone all the way down into my hand.
Ugh.
Didn't hurt. But there you go.
There you go. But you were telling the story about the
Yes.
time there was a tornado and we lost a tree back there by the
Yeah,
trailers.
lost a
Right.
tree
It
and a
went-
trailer.
And went right across my car too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Had to chainsaw it out, right?
right, yeah, a lot of great adventures like
Yeah,
that.
I remember Joe and Chip and somebody else worked in the dark out there after that happened to help get that tree
Was it-
off
I think
overnight.
we said it like it happened
Yeah.
on a Saturday,
Yeah.
and of course we needed everything on a Sunday.
Yeah, so they worked overnight to get that thing up because that trailer was the video trailer.
Right.
Yeah, it had all the video equipment and everything. It was the video trailer, and we needed it, or Chip needed it going.
They figured it out.
Yeah, I think I slept, but
I don't.
they were out
in
there working.
Yeah. Thank you, Chip and Joe. Heroes. So, Lisa, as you look back now, as you've been at Simple Church at the beginning, I was wondering if there was a highlight or something that stands out or a story.
Or a low light.
We're going to do that next.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So, what is something that is one of the things that you look back on now and you can say, like, that was really cool?
Well, it's really hard to pin down. The trip to Africa, the mission
Yeah.
trip, was a great highlight. I mean, that's one of the greatest blessings I've had to be able to be a part of that. And we are so blessed here in America. You just have to leave our country and see how the rest of the world lives. We got it so good.
Perspective.
We got it so good.
And the cool thing is, we actually just started opening up, sign up for the trip in October. So this is 2021.
Yeah.
We're going to go again in October for the first time in 2 years.
I would encourage anyone who has any,
Ever wanted to
inkling.
go?
Yes, it's a trip of a lifetime, and I've loved being a part of the Do Good store. It's been great. The girls that I get to work with down there, that's my life group. That we call it our life group, but it's the connections. Our church has gotten really big, but when you get involved in areas, you really get to meet people. I didn't really know Angie that well until we started the Do Good store and we started going to markets
Serving
and
together,
things
yeah.
like yes. And so, but she is just one of my besties, I guess you'd say. But
And I think we can all agree with this. Way better than Justin
oh
across the board.
Well,
whatever.
she is the antithesis of Justin.
Yeah.
In all the right ways.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not that Justin's a terrible
No,
person,
we love Justin.
Absolutely.
but she is
Justin,
sweet
but
and
yes,
kind.
they are quite the pair, and so that's a great highlight. But I'm looking forward to seeing what God has ahead for us all. It's always an adventure. There's always, as John says, an opportunity.
Not a problem.
That's right, no problems,
John
just
Hagler says all
opportunities.
problems are opportunities
That's right.
to figure it out.
And somehow they get solved.
That's right.
With God's help.
So what's a low light?
Anything stand out as a tough time or
Yeah.
one of those moments like losing your car to a tree or cleaning up, just going and
I just don't have a.
there you go.
Oh, come on, Lee.
No, I really don't. I don't have nothing that I would call low. you know. Frustrations, yes, you know,
Sure.
there's those, but I really don't. I really couldn't say. They may come to me later.
That's fine. Yeah, let us know. No, we did talk about cleaning when we was being in the movie
Yeah.
theater and doing that. I mean, nobody loves it, but
No,
you were
but-
saying the people that did it,
I mean, you just
you could have
you
fun
just do it
scrubbing the
because
floor.
you know, yeah, we had to
Yeah.
clean the bar after Gallagher.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Very
that was
famous
a
story.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah, he
famous
was
story.
the comedian that.
Smash watermelon.
Yes, and they didn't.
Another fruit.
Yeah, they had
There it
to
is.
clean that up before we could start, you know, and be a part of that. And when we were first at the movie place at the boardwalk, we had the babies were kept in the party room, and we had to mop and clean that before and sanitize it all.
Right. So the
before.
movie theater's open till midnight.
Yeah.
We come in at 6 a.m. on Sunday morning.
And you can imagine the floors with cupcake
Well,
Full
yeah.
weekend. of
goo and
movies.
all that.
Well, and plus their staff is generally teenagers.
Right.
Right.
That, you know, let's just say they're not exactly the best workers because, you know, their mind is elsewhere.
Especially cleaning.
Yeah.
in that, especially in that time.
And so when you want it clean enough for a baby to crawl on that floor.
right.
Yeah, well, we had mats.
Yes.
We did not. Let me say that we did not let them do that. But it all got done, you know, and it all worked out. And I can remember the lines. People, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
it was like Disney, you know, with the lines.
Well, we came
People
up with a whole
snake-
system of ropes and had to go and try to figure out how to cue
and
them up.
it was always amazing. I said, I can't believe they're waiting in line to get to
Yeah.
church. And I said, this is wonderful. This is crazy, but it's wonderful. I mean, it just reminded me like Disney, where
Yeah.
you know, you just snake around, and people trying to get there so they could get in line and get a good seat.
Because at one point, so we worked with Regal Cinema. They had a faith and church division that was in charge of booking theater churches. Justin actually spoke on their conference one time.
Mm-hmm.
And when we were all in the theater before we split, we were the largest theater church in the entire Regal system in the United States.
Yeah, we were the largest theater church in the United States, I believe.
I think so.
Yeah.
And for sure in Regal, but we were one of the biggest that was going on. And that's when we started trying to
Yeah.
find more. And
Yeah.
it
in
was wild.
Shreveport, Bossier.
Right here.
Isn't that crazy?
Not the huge city.
No.
Yeah, and another reason why people waited in line is you didn't know what theater Justin was going to be in at one point.
That's right.
Hey, so we had the two largest theaters, and he would. I don't know why we came up with this idea.
Well,
or
people
thought it
said
would
that
be
they
good.
wanted to not be in the simulcast.
Right.
And so we think, we'll trick them.
Yeah, so Justin, so you didn't know which theater he was going to be in, and sometimes he would change mid. He would start in one theater, then switch to
Show
the
a
other one.
video,
Yeah.
and then he'd appear in the other one.
Yeah. So, crazy ideas.
And then he'd have to leave and go to
Yes.
the
Regal
Nine.
9.
yeah.
So he would, finish a service. He had to be over there. The band would start playing, and he would drive in and be there just in time to get up and preach.
Yeah, and if there was a
down the
train or anything,
And there's always a train.
road.
yeah, it was always,
Brian would have to
Risky.
stall at Regal 9.
yep, risky times.
It's crazy.
It is. It is. It's been a crazy ride, and I hope it just keeps on going.
That's right. That's a good note to end on, Lisa. Thanks for coming. It wasn't that bad, was
Lisa.
it?
Oh, Lisa.
We were just talking.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you. Thank you for all you do. Thanks to your family. Big
We
fans of
love y'all.
McDaniels.
We're very thankful to be a part of it.
Oh,
Very, very thankful.
There you go. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening and checking out this episode of Backstage with the Simple Church. Lisa is great. She is very humble, Scott, but she's been a big part of the
she
church.
didn't humble me.
No, she did not. She is humble. She's
Yeah,
very,
there you go.
very talks down of what she's done. But her and Donnie have been huge parts of Simple Church.
Huge parts.
We're super thankful for them, and thank
Massive
you
parts.
for being a listener. Next week, Scott, we have our very first ever listener turned guest.
Who's that?
Mark Perkins will be our guest next
Oh,
week on
Perkins
the
and
podcast.
Perkins.
That's right. He's one of our biggest fans and listeners, and so he is going to come on and talk about his time at the beginnings of the Simple Church.
Perkins, Perkins, and Perkins.
He's a triplet. But that is not true. But he is going to be on next week and talking about it. And thank you. Make sure you subscribe wherever you're listening or watching this on YouTube. Get the new episode every Wednesday and leave us a 5-star review. It just helps out and get people to find it.
Yes.
All right. Well, have a great week.
Have a great week. Thanks for
Bye.
listening.
Thanks.
We appreciate it here at Odom and Odom. Snake.
Does that make me an Odom?
Yes, it does.
All right.